out here on one of the ridges overlooking our farm, kind of putting turkeys to bed a little bit just because I'm curious as to where they're roosting right here a week or so before the season. But it's also fun just to get out and do a little bit of calling, see if you can get them talking back, even though it doesn't mean a whole lot right now. But this is an opportunity that I did want to talk to you more about Generation Calls, a company that I've been working with the last couple of years just to kind of help them get started. They're putting out a great slate call. They've got some deer calls and stuff that they're experimenting with now, but primarily now talking turkey season. They make this awesome call. The unique thing about this is they've got on the back, in addition to their soundboard being laser engraved with turkey tracks to project some of that sound, they've got what's called the leaderboard on the back, where after you kill a bird, you can send in the call and all the information about the kill. They'll laser engrave that on the back. And the whole generation concept of getting kids involved and making this an actual story piece that might sit on a mantle during the off season is kind of a cool thing. And, also called some birds in last year. Didn't end up killing one, but looking forward to maybe having this be the ticket to ride for this spring, especially as I take my kids out on the youth hunt here coming up in a couple weeks. Despite the snow approaching turkey season, which is positive, it's probably all of 19 degrees today, I'm here with my buddy Joel Nelson, turkey calling extraordinary, in addition to, you've probably seen him around in the fishing circles, but I had a few questions for Joel, or I want Joel to share a few things about turkey hunting and about calling. Everybody's excited to get out in the woods here in the next few weeks, start chasing these turkeys that we're seeing running around. Yeah. I just wanted to know, or wanted you to help tell us, what are we doing opening day? Everybody's excited. What's your suggestions that we get out and do?
You know, leading up to opening day, I always think that scouting's important, but the freshest information is best. Like, we can scout now, but it's not going to make a lot of difference because we got a couple weeks until our season comes in. Once the season comes in, though, the couple days leading up to it, if I could pinpoint some turkeys, find some flocks, I kind of like some blind hunting, some stationary hunting right at the outset, because birds tend to be flocked up. So I think that's the best way to try to beat lots of pairs of eyes.
Cool. We were just out literally on the road, strutters running in front of the truck. They wouldn't get out of the way. One goes off, starts breeding. We're calling, they're gobbling. I mean, it seems like everything is just happening right now. Can we count on that in 2 weeks, 3 weeks when the season starts? How do we approach trying to track down one of these birds?
You know, I think this year we can, because spring has been, well, there hasn't been spring. It's been pushed back. So literally, that's some of the first breeding activity I've seen in lots of years. That's happening well in March. We're in April. So I think that in 2 weeks when our season comes in, it will be still full kind of peak breeding part of the season. And, you know, I think finding those flocks, remember when there's lots of birds but they're all tight together, there's more places that they're not than where they are. So finding a flock to hunt is really of the utmost importance.
Most of us are kind of gearheads and geeks that way. What am I looking for in a call? I want a mouth call, I want a box call, I want a slate, I want all of these things because I want to call every bird in that I can. Tell me about slate calls. What do you look for? What do you do to get it ready?
Sure.
How do you ultimately use it, to serve you best?
You know, slate calls, especially this one, is, it's kind of a throwback to the original slate surface. Now, there's lots of friction calls, pot and peg calls with different surfaces, and all those other surfaces are great for making a variety of sounds, but slate tends to be one of the most forgiving, easiest to play, easiest to use, soft, sweet, supple sound, so it's really good for light flock talk, clucks, basic yelps, purrs, things like that. And really, I'm looking for a slate, pure slate call to do just that, real soft and sweet.
Cool. What do you do? Pull it out of the box. What do you do to make it sound the best that you can?
Yeah, any slate call you get, I don't care what kind of friction, pot and peg type call it is, but slate especially needs surface prep. So got a little piece of sandpaper here. I follow the striations of the wood grain and I scratch parallel to that direction. And I do that because I always want to scratch the call the same way. It creates miniature kind of striations and striping and little miniature grooves throughout the surface of that slate. That way, I rough up just the tip of the striker a little bit. That way when I call, I want to pull perpendicular to to make the best sounds possible. It skips across those striations and makes the perfect call.
Cool. So what I would like to do is I'd like to give away a couple of these generation calls. We're going to do this kind of via social media. Your opportunities to win are by doing the following. You've done this on other sites before. Follow me on Instagram, tag a friend in the Generation Calls post on Instagram, and then go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And that's also going to put your name in. I'm going to give away 2 of these Generation Slate calls here 1 week from today. So you can get yourself eligible by following, by tagging, and you can also get friends involved. So we'll give away 2 of these Generation Slate calls in the decorative box with the striker, hopefully just in time for you to call in a great big tom here this spring.